Oh, Tom, got your T50 booster ready to test, and as you know, we got you old school here, which is correct for your car, and original to the fact that this has got a leather diaphragm in it. And I converted it for you because the diaphragm that had been installed in there was shot and not technically correct for your car. Obviously it was updated, but what they had not done is screwed the plug in here reverse so that people wouldn't be filling it with mineral oil, which is not what the rubber seal needs. But anyway, now you have been converted. You've got the correct leather seal in here, and this fill plug is correct and usable, so you do need to maintain your level of mineral oil in there. Got your rebuilt air filter assembly, and I got it plated like original. Of course, got your two check valves right here, and we are ready to test. And what we're going to do is we're going to turn on our vacuum, and both gauges will read vacuum as produced by my vacuum pump. And then as the booster is activated, this gauge will stay constant, and this gauge will go to 0 when the booster is fully activated. So the more you press on the brakes, the more this goes to 0. And this is something that you can test on your own car, and that is this test fitting at the top. So just hook up a vacuum gauge to this, and have the car idling, and then press on the brakes and read the vacuum gauge. Over here we've got our input, which is this line here going to the bottom of the booster, lower fitting on the booster. The bottom fitting, of course, is vacuum. So the next fitting up is your input, and that gauge is here. These two gauges are tied together, so this gauge goes up, maxes out, and this gauge reads final pressure. And then our output, which is coming out of the nose of the booster to the car. Your output gauges are tied together, so this gauge is going to go up and read max pressure, and this gauge follows and reads the final pressure. Now, for instance, when we do without any boost, without any vacuum, the booster is simply inert. It doesn't do anything. It just passes the fluid right through it. So we've got an input of 350, output of 350, output of 350. So that's all that the booster is doing. It's just sitting there, not doing anything. That's why you have brakes when you're sitting still with the engine off. You just don't have boosted brakes. So now we're going to hit it with some vacuum. Booster is activated, fully activated. And we come over here and check our pressure. 350 in, almost 900 out. There we go. Pressure, we come over here and check for leaks. Only thing we've got is our fitting right here, but that's just that's normal. Check leaks around here, and we listen for vacuum leaks. There are none. No leaks out of our bleed screws. This is a really nice booster for you. Thanks very much for sending it to me.